He took his jacket off. I said, yo, I got you. Don't do it. I got you.
They know. They always know.
That's
what I tell you.
That's why I emailed him. I said, yo, God, it happened. And he warned me on that.
Yeah.
Like, even if there was like an overwhelming amount of Christians in this classroom right now, the minute this man started talking, you will be dead silent, no rebuttals. As much as they want to disagree, because there's no knowledge, there's no understanding of what they're dealing with, they would say nothing to you. Only thing you hear is, well, what about this? What about that? That's all you would, and all of it leads is like, it's like breadcrumbs back to mystery. Mm-hmm. Like you're supposed to solve it. We don't deal with mysteries.
Right.
So either way, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, bro. It's sensitive. I'm not surprised you went through that. Not even a little bit.
But what I'm saying is that
and they claim to be the racist.
Yeah, and I went there a few times since I've been coming. But this one time when I went 2 Sundays ago to see somebody that checks on me, I went to go visit them, and my presence completely upset somebody. For real. Just upset them. And this is a bona fide gangster. Like he's a one of them dudes that play games with the people. He's in there doing that. He know I know what it is. Even though he know me for years, and we don't rock out that day. And then also what it is too, God, I got a health issue, and they thought I'd be dead by now. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they see I'm up, my weight's different, I'm cleaning out my body. You know what I'm saying? I said, my presence is really upsetting them. I said, he said that I had to eat. I said, yo, you said this was going to happen.
You ain't never gonna get no friction.
It's also something like, it's the first level, but it's also something to work on because people not really catching a vibe and antagonism per se. It's just contrast.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And as you continue on with this story, you'll be able to like mask that contrast. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us have it and stuff like that. It's just whether we go into Cypher's Dome, we have that that nature of saying like it's okay what you're doing. You know what I mean? Right. But you may not have noticed that because you're witnessing yourself for the first time. That's why. So they catch the contrast. And that's what happens. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to kneel on the pew. You know what I mean?
They see I don't do it. I haven't been doing that. I haven't been going there because when you go in there, they expect you to go up there. You got to get on your knees and I don't do it.
Expect you to bend the knee.
If I'm going to meditate, I don't have to do that.
You gotta also understand too, like there's also the part where they do these things. You know what I mean? So they're not just looking at you like you're not really a part of it, but like also who is this guy to say that this what I believe in is not real, even though they're telling you straight up that they believe it's real, they don't have to believe it, just know. You know what I mean? One time I had just like there was time I would have bombed. Like I bombed my older brother. I bombed a nigga. Before you know it, I'm apologizing. I should have been a little more nice about what it is you believe and shit like that.
And I don't even go to church.
No, but that's how it goes. You're gonna go from ready to bomb to be like, yo, you want me to respect what you believe? Respect what I know. I promise you, they will no longer talk about what they believe because what you know offsets all. So the cognitive dissonance. That's it. You know what I mean? You're gonna have them back in there on Sunday, trying to wash off the fact that they was around you, as opposed to them, you having that interaction.
I didn't bomb nobody. It was just my presence bomb.
That's the thing you have to understand. Okay, because your presence, they was expecting you to bomb.
Without them even really knowing what I'm into?
It's weird. You know what I mean? Like, they can't feel the mystery God, but they can feel you. They're weird, God. They're weird. They're weird. You understand what I mean? They're weird. You can't fully understand. They don't fully understand. You can't fully understand them. They don't understand themselves.
I get that.
You know what I mean? So that's what that is, man. They're weird.
There's something I teach about the 85, 10, and the 5, right? The 85 are not marked by good or bad. They're inconsistent. Right? So they submit to the greatest forces around them. You know what I'm saying?
See, right there, slave to mental death and
Right.
power.
They submit to the greatest forces around them. So they're not good or bad though, but they're gonna be inconsistent with you. You know, we're gonna have problems though if we try to find consistency in them. They're not gonna be consistent. You know? Because then they would have to be consistently bad or consistently good, and they're neither of those things. You know what I mean? And then generally they're good. Depending on how you see humanity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right? You go into all these arguments though, the Chinese philosophers had them, Japanese philosophers, all types of societies, people have had the argument, is humanity good or bad, you know, naturally. You know what I mean? And I kind of think more of the Chinese way, you know, that they are led, but they can be led in a righteous direction very easily, depending on how, you know, from a top down. If the people that are ruling are righteous, then they will be righteous. You know what I mean? They will follow that lead. You know, the people aren't righteous though, so there is no real lead to follow. You know what I'm saying? But what do we have left? We have 15% left. 15%. The only difference between them and the 85 is that they know. Okay, that's the main difference. They know these facts, and so the only opportunity to be devilish or not, though, is from those who know. You know what I'm saying? Can't really be a devil of that nature though if you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You can't be, and you can't.
And the thing is though, is that you could be manipulated into great acts of evil and great acts of good. You know. So sometimes the lines blur because an 85 can have an impact in your life that is just as devilish as any devil, right? So under certain circumstances, you go, man, this guy's a devil. So yeah, you know, he's some kind of devil. You know what I mean? Right? But generally, those that know this truth, they have that choice, and the 10% are the ones who bloodsuck. And the nature, there's only you know, in the way that they act is obviously they're not sharing the truth righteously. They're not sharing it to help people. They're only sharing things for their own benefit. So it'll be selective, it'll be distinct, and it'll not be useful. Right? That won't be a requisite that it be useful when they do share. Right? As long as they can get what they want. But here's the thing to remember is that the 10%, their difference is that when they deal with knowledge, they conquer it. They conquer their ciphers. They do not master their ciphers. The 5% master the cipher. This is the thing to remember, okay? Because conquering means that to deal with something, you take it over and you change its reality, and it's no longer what you once tried to take, right? They conquered America, though, and it never looked the same. You know what I'm saying? It didn't look the same, right? Once they got all of this, though, it didn't look like what it looked like when the indigenous were here. Not at all. You know what I mean? So they got it, but it don't look the same. You know what I mean? With the 5%, we master things. You know what I'm saying? And this goes back to what I was saying about how I tend to deal with different people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to conquer your mental landscape and make you realize that this is right and exact. I want you to see it for yourself. And I want you to take the leap. Okay? I don't want to hold your hand and jump in with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not bungee jumping together. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing any of that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So I tend to let people develop as they develop. You know what I mean? Some people develop slow, some people develop fast, some people develop in distinct ways. You know? I let them all develop. When I don't see them actually having a fruit to their builds, then I interject, I intercede. You know what I mean? You know, but I give things time. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between the way I deal with things and other people deal with things. You know what I mean? Right? The demands that I want, like let's say the demands that I have of this nation, though, I never thrust them upon the student, though. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that it wasn't thrust upon me, though. But in the back of my mind, I wasn't going to do shit that I didn't want to do anyway. You know what I mean? So everything that I did, I really wanted to do it. You know what I mean? Even if I didn't like doing it, though, I really wanted to do it.
Right.
Right? But that's the difference between the 5 and the 10. And that's why certain ways that the 5% could teach, though, right? If they teach it incorrectly, they could be blood-sucking too. You know what I'm saying? Because they want their own ends and means. And that becomes very difficult because let's say we have the school here, we need it to be a certain way. So we need to demand certain things out of people too. You know what I'm saying? We need to expect some kind of excellence as well. You know what I mean? Or else how could this prosper? Right? So the lines can be very thin of what we demanded and how we let students freely develop. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be free. I've had a lot of hell because people, throughout the years I've taught, a lot of people don't like, they actually didn't like the way I taught because I was giving people the freedom to decide that they would be God. You know what I'm saying?
They were expecting you to.
Right. I wasn't like, hey, you've been in 5 sessions, man. You better get that flag on and shit like that.
How we gonna say
you're part of the army. You know what I'm saying? We're part of the army. Like if it was a physical battlefield, we all know. Yeah, I'd strap shit on you. I'd strap the bulletproof vest, and we'd be out there. You're gonna have to take the weapons and shit like that. But this ain't that. This is a different type of war.
It's a mental.
It's a different type of war. Yeah, you know what I mean? And the key is that the most powerful God will have moments of being himself, the true and living God, when no one is looking. And this is what Confucius always talk about. You know what I mean?
Right.
He said, "Who are you when no one's around?"
Right. He can't. Right. What do you do when no one's around? You know what I'm saying? How do you deal when no one's around?
It's weird you say that because Dre has been saying that about me. He's been like, yo, you changed a lot. And like he's been saying like he noticed that since I've been around you and you've been teaching me. He noticed my change before that, but he's noticed a whole different. I think he said that when he was around. He was like, yo, you can't. Sure. He was like, yo, this is where you need to be. He said that. And that's my brother like that.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So
that's
if he's saying he see that as
that's peace. Yeah.
He know what I've been through. He know my life. You know what I'm saying? So
see, it's always for any age group, a lot of the mentality I have, like people don't really understand. Like if you're looking at things with a lazy eye from the periphery,
myopic, right?
Right. Understand though that everything I'm saying to you, in general, everyone, right? I have a calm though, but that doesn't mean that this is the way that I learn. That this is the way that I do. Everything has an intense fury. There's a calmness because it's going to get done no matter what. You see? No one's going to get in the way of me training. No one's going to get in the way of me writing. No one's going to get in the way of me reading and studying. You see what I'm saying? To have taught this class this long, nobody was going to get in the way of me teaching it. You see? That's where the calmness comes from. But there's always a fury, though. We always must see ourselves as being behind. You see?
Like we need this.
In other words, when you build and you have a day when you build and let's say you read a lot, you study a lot and shit like that, don't think you caught up with anything.
Right.
You don't caught up
with anything.
You know what I'm saying? We're all behind. The whole idea about being oppressors, though, is that we're behind. Right? And so you always have to have that fury to be inspired to continue to add on, to build, and think of new ways to create, new ways to build, new ways to be sharper, expect more. Right. You know what I'm saying? There is no maintaining level. Right. You know what I'm saying? There is no maintaining level. Now, look, someone may see, like, they might see someone train today and then see him at the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll see him Monday and then they see him Thursday. Right? Or they see him Friday, shit. Or Saturday, or Sunday. Right? They see him at the end of the week. And they say, listen, they kind of train the same way. See, but that's not what was really there. You see? Because if he trained all week, right? And he trained a certain way at Monday, it took more effort to do it on Sunday at that same level as Monday. Because his body should be properly battered. You see what I'm saying? He should be exhausted. He should be weakened by Sunday and needing the rest. You know what I'm saying? Right? So this is what I'm saying though. Like they're not all the same. The consistency is in the variety. You know what I'm saying? The consistency, doing it every day is what's going to offer that variety of life. And we don't see that nuance and everything. You know, we just say, like, oh, why is every day the same? Why is it all like this? That's not what breeds a consistency. You know what I mean? That's not what builds a person to ever perfect things. You know what I mean? Because we're what? Imperfection, right?
Right.
Constant elevation at an ever increasing rate. That rate doesn't mean it goes higher. It's not linear, but it is circular. It continues to go back and forward and grows in depth. You see? Just like the universe, though. It doesn't necessarily expand, it grows in depth. It gets deeper and deeper and deeper. You know what I mean?
It's
Right?
looking good, though.
So this is the mentality that we have to have. You know what I'm saying? We need that mentality. You know what I mean? Because that's what people miss.
It's about
Right?
So, not that I disagree, but you
But
said that when people come here, you don't force them to accept the knowledge, right? Along
No.
those lines,
no.
right? And I was gonna say that, well, if we claim to be the chosen ones, just because somebody showed up doesn't mean they had fully chosen themselves yet. Like, you know what
Sure.
I mean? It could just be the idea of coming here,
Right.
and the idea of a new way of thinking
Mhm.
could be the reason that they haven't necessarily chosen themselves yet. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying is I don't understand how somebody could be against that. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if you look at our history, we've been forced. Everything's been forced fed.
Yeah.
Let that man choose,
Yeah.
or let her choose. Let her choose.
But
Like,
he
you
gave
know?
somebody an opportunity one time who came here on their own,
Right.
and he explained to them what it was, and he left.
As it should be.
Walked right out.
Don't waste no time.
He told them there's no mystery, there's nothing above you. You are
You
God.
couldn't grasp that concept.
He said, yeah. I was sitting right there. He was sitting right there.
The first time I came in, I was an atheist, so I came in contact with this. I was like, you know what I mean? I tell people that all the time. I was like, I was in a Catholic school. Yeah, my mom tried to, like, you know what I'm saying? None of that shit ever stuck. You know what I mean? Number one reason, of course, was that I noticed that all the bad and good in my life, I was responsible for.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, how come if I'm responsible for the good and the bad, this almighty being can only be responsible for good? You know? Where even in the mystery, he's still indirectly responsible for the bad. Right? You choose to send this man to hell to conquer him, to show and prove that you're more righteous than him. Your way of thinking is more righteous than him.
When they not even understanding that is a mystery as well. That was a mystery.
Like I said, it's a mystery for itself, but I'm just getting to the point of like you said, like you got to choose yourself. You know what I mean? I've never, nobody ever told me I was that happy. God Supreme told me right there outside. 2 days later, he was like, yo, no mystery here. You are responsible. That same thought process I had as a kid, Sunez told me still applies today. You're responsible for all of the good and all of that. Even if you're unaware of the bad, who did it? You know this person. You know that they're capable of this. You let them into your cycle. Like, you know,
I seen a meme somebody posted on Instagram said Satan doesn't exist. You're responsible for the bad. You do. And say there's no Satan. It's you.
Or even if you're saying that somebody else, like the whole when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock and he told him that the devil told you at the highest point. But I mean, regardless of any of that, the truth of the matter is, Will Smith, you the one who reacted.
Right. You got up and hit that man.
You are the devil in this situation.
Exactly.
You understand what I mean? Like, there's nobody forced you to do that.
No.
None of that shit. You did that. You know what I mean? Yes, there's a multiple things that happened that added on until it got to the point that unfortunately Chris Rock was on the receiving none of that backlash. But at the end of the day, you know, you could have been God about that situation, or you could have been you chose to be the devil. Cool.
Exactly.
At least everybody's still alive.
But it don't get no clear.
By the way, in 100 years, if you tell that story that a motherfucker named Will Smith smacked the nigga and still got his Oscar, they're gonna say he was white.
It's so weird that you say
In
that.
100 years, they're gonna say, wait, that was a black man that did that? And they still gave him the award? The most prestigious award we have?
You know what's so ill about you you're saying that, I seen a post a few years ago that they said the next 50 years they're gonna say Tupac was white. They said the next 50 to 65 years the story gonna be different and Tupac gonna be a white man. I said,
it's getting worse than that. I heard the AI they had Biggie Smalls performing Nas's.
They got Biggie Smalls performing Mobb Deep. They got Biggie Smalls performing Tupac. They got Tupac singing Nas.
I heard Biggie do the New York State Times.
Mm-hmm. I heard that.
remember thinking like, yo, this is so fucking fire. This is so wrong. This is so wrong. Like it's how he had to and everything. Like he had all that in there, but then I was just like, this is bad.
I don't know. To me, the voices didn't sound.
It didn't sound like it to me. It didn't sound like it to me either.
None of it's ever gonna be on the money. It's just when he had the little. That's when I was like, okay, they really like. You know, like that shortness of breath, and like that, like not the voice, but the shortness of breath. I was like, well, they took their time with that.
They got a pun. They got Pun doing a G-rap song over, and he sounds just like Pun on that. I had to go check, was that a G-rap song? I pulled the song up. It's the G-rap song. They got Pun AI. I said, yo.
See, but there's Pun was very similar to G.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, yo, this is bad news, man. This is really bad.
It's that
I don't like it.
You used to call it a rollout.
I don't like it.
You know what I mean? Like it's a rollout. Like we're gonna introduce you to this. Then it's like, it's like the FaceTime. So you put your thumbprint on your phone.
Right.
I figured now we need your face print on the phone.
Right.
Now we have your whole piece and put on somebody else. But first, let's put the mix and match your favorite rappers and shit so you can get released. Let's put an episode Black Mirrors with the actresses I'm playing about. Let's give you all, like I'm telling you, shit is like you just be like, it's a roll out until they find boom. Here it is now.
But let me ask you something since you said that. What do you feel about this Jamie Foxx situation? Because he's not looking like
I mean, as a barber, I'm terribly disturbed.
That's not Jamie.
As an individual, I can't call it. I don't know
You said
what.
as a barber, you're disturbed? What about being a barber?
There's because if you notice, you see the two side pictures. One is a clear hairpiece, fade on the side, and boom, boom.
And you see
the other one, the goatee is missing, and that's pink. That is like arts and craft.
His ears are small.
That's not a hairpiece that was like glued on. So I'm like I said, as a barber, I was terribly disturbed. But as an individual, I'm just looking.
Yeah, I mean, all this shit is wisdom now. It's for us. So we don't know.
So I'm just like, that whole thing is, and like I said, it's a part of the rollout. Now, for me personally, I'm like, you've heard all those type of songs. Well, I've avoided listening to all that shit ever since the beginning of that shit. I'm like, no, don't play that.
It disgusts me. It's disgusting.
It's just a simple fact that when I come across the Jamie Foxx's of the world, I don't want to be desensitized. I want to be able to look and see that and be like, that ain't right. Even if it's not AI, that ain't right, bro. That ain't right.
So we make decisions about people that's not here. As a scholar,
right.
One of the issues I had, there's a million that I took to task with Wakil and his books, and then I took to him, and one of the many was he had a lot of things wrong about Firstborn Prince, And I obviously, me and Darkin, we knew Firstborn Prince. We learned with him, and that upset me. And I was like, I looked through your book, and you said all the stuff about him, and you only had one source. The only source you had was nobody that knew Firstborn Prince. Obviously, you didn't know Firstborn Prince. All you had was one letter that he wrote to someone else. That's it. And you assume this whole reality based on one letter he wrote to someone else. Now, I think I'm a good writer,
Great writer.
But I don't want one letter I write to be like the definitive, this is what Sunez is all about. His whole life is all about.
We don't know what's life you
because
dealing with.
When you write a letter, especially when you write a letter to guards in jail, you're not telling them about yourself. You're trying to answer the things that they need. You know what I'm saying? That they need.
Do you get letters from guards in jail?
All the time. All the time.
And you don't even be knowing them, right?
No, I don't know. I don't know anybody yet. I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone.
You reply?
Yeah, I do, yeah. All the time.
Wow.
all the time.
Yeah, because I
That's
heard,
real peace, though.
because I heard that I don't, no, I'm not wishing anything on you, and I don't know if you ever been locked up.
No.
But your name ring bells inside,
I did a lot of writing in it. Yeah.
Yo, your name ring bells like you know how niggas hold weight and then they got it on lock. That's how you got it.
Yes, you
When-
run of the whole joint.
Unfortunately,
Right.
if that was to happen, you're gonna have it on smash.
But that was a good thing. That was a good thing because when we got knowledge me, my enlightenment made me write letters. So any letter that was addressed to no one in particular at the school, we had to go in there and like take it. So so he was like, he'd always be like, try to get the other students to take it, and they would do it, but they wouldn't know what to write and shit like that, and they wouldn't really do it. You know what I'm saying? And then so he would then give them to me too. So I had a lot. Like there were years where, and honestly, I couldn't keep all of it, but I had bags and bags of mail. You know what I'm saying? Like I would keep the ones I answered, but I couldn't even keep that. It was just too much stuff. Like think about all the bags of mail, but then I got all the shit that I write.
Right. Your own writing.
I know. I gotta be selfish though. I gotta keep the shit I wrote. You know what I mean? But everything I write to somebody, when I write people in jail, it's always something particular for them. It's never a generic statement like, let me give him Sunez Bill 23, just nah.
Yo,
It's always
like I
distinct
said,
to them and the situation that they're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Like forbid it ever happen. If
Nah.
a situation occurred, you would be the dawn in me. Like you gotta have it on smash.
Oh, man.
For real.
Peace, God.
Like that's
But-
there's many people like I give you a common example. The God math. That's how he said he
Right.
was in jail when he, you know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah.
I've heard this over and over again. I'm like, yo, you possibly never been locked up, and you always still got it on the side.
Just add
What
it up.
Jadakiss said, never did a thing but jails on the side.
Oh, sorry.
But we build everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, we share. You know what I'm saying?
Peace. Let's move.
Please, God.
Like the bucket hat. So now gonna compliment you on it later on too.
God.
Try to be more active, man. I've been doing my math class and lesson. This is the only thing I haven't.
Right?
I'm gonna come back. Though, man.
Indeed,
Good
God.
to see
Indeed.
you, God. Peace.
Likewise,
Peace,
God. Alright. Why do you look for me? You've been here in my class.
Nah, I haven't. We built at the show and prove.
Name is your
Wise.
Wise.
Yeah.
Oh, we built it to show and prove.
Yeah, I emailed you earlier.
Ah, okay. Ah, that's peace, God. That's peace. Where you at?
I'm in Medina,
Oh, okay. Where in Medina?
Flatbush.
Okay. When I had knowledge of self, when I was learning knowledge, when I was going to a knowledge means class, I still lived in Medina. You know what I mean?
That's where you're born at, right? You're born and raised.
Yeah. Sunset Park. Yeah, Sunset Park. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're from Sunset.
Yeah. First place I lived was right across from the park.
Wow.
You know? And then, man, all that area, probably like 4 or 5 places. So I lived there the first 20 years of my life.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Then it was P.E.A.C.E, then it was other place.
Oh, you lived in the Bronx before?
I lived in P.E.A.C.E, yeah.
What part?
176 in Popo.
Oh, okay. I know exactly
Yeah.
where that's at. Okay.
Yeah. Pop ham.
Pop hand.
Yeah. Emblematic, right? 176 in Popham. So you get off at University, you got to go all the way up to that end. You know what I'm saying? But how long I lived there? I lived there for like 5 years, 6.
And I'm pretty sure you realize there's a distinct way of living in the South Bronx.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I know firsthand.
It's interesting because in places in Medina, I'm usually escorted. I'll keep it real, right?
Okay.
Brownsville, Flatbush, East New York, everywhere I go, I'm usually escorted. It's a hip hop thing. People take me where they're at. But when I lived in the Bronx, though, I was living on my own, though. and I had to learn the area by myself and shit like that. You know what I mean? So that was the most dangerous years I ever lived. You know what I mean? That's the
I know exactly what you're saying.
yeah. You know, I had to figure out though. You get off the train, the 4 train, these steps you could get killed here. Either whether you twist your ankle or you get twisted out. You know what I mean? Like one or the other though. You know what I mean? Like you have to learn all that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
It's just
And it's crazy because obviously where I'm from is no picnic, but
no, it's a distinct way of living.
The-
in the Bronx. Yeah. Distinct way of living.
the pigs in P.E.A.C.E when I was there in the 2000s, they was crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was crazy. You know what I mean? Because I was never on the block like that, but I was harassed like I was on the block. You know what I mean?
That's when Stop and Frisk was really heavy.
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah,
Really
that's probably why. Yeah. I have all types of stories in P.E.A.C.E. You know what I'm saying? All types of stories. You know? Staten Island is different though.
Yeah.
It depends where you at.
It definitely depends where you at.
Because I live past Stapleton, so I'm on, you know.
But that's where I moved. My sister first stepped in Staten Island. That's where she was at Stapleton. So
Yeah.
that's where I learned everything. And
Yeah, Stapleton is Grammy though, but I live past Stapleton. You know what I mean? I'm in Rosebank, so you know it's different. You know what I mean? If I go out there and train though, people look at me like I'm Rocky. They think I'm some dark Italian and shit. You know? It's serious though. Yeah. You know, so they're okay.
oh, that's right, because it's a lot of Italians out there.
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot of mob
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the only borough I never really, you know what's funny? The only borough the only borough I never really lived in, like I have a residence in, was Queens. But my twin brother did. So it's like the same thing.
Right.
Because I was
Yeah,
always there.
you are him.
Yeah, you know. But Wise, right? Is it just Wise or is it
Why Supreme Allah?
Wise Supreme Allah? Okay. Tell me since age, how you got knowledge, like what do you know? Stuff like that.
Well, first, I'm not just born. It's my physical degree.
Okay, that's peace.
And how I got knowledge? Well, the attracting power for me was like through the music. I'm saying, so like I grew up listening to like Nas, Wu-Tang, and stuff like that. So people from that era, they're always talking about like God, you know? And, like they just dropping little hints there and there. Like, you know, I always wanted more. I'm saying, so once I got more interested in being wanting to be a part of the culture. Me and my friend, he got too. You know what I'm saying? He went to the school first. You know what I'm saying, and once he got his educated, he was like, "Yo, when you ready, let me know." So now we have the same educator, which is P.E.A.C.E.
Ah, okay, feel money. Okay, that's peace. Peace, God.
How you doing, man? All right.
There you go.
Peace. Well, my man Sam, man, shake it.
Go ahead, brother.
So currently, I'm on the tech degree in 2014.
Ah, okay.
I got knowledge in January this year.
Peace. What's good? Peace. Okay.
By the way, Free, I'm thinking about this. I need you for some pictures though.
Okay,
'Cause
sir.
I want a picture.
Yes, sir.
I want a picture for front cover of my book though.
I'll be here Thursday, though.
Yeah.
All right, tonight I got something to do.
No, it's peace though. I'm not ready now anyway.
Thursday's good. We'll talk, though.
Yeah, definitely got peace, God. Yeah, Free's my photographer.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody catch me better than that though.
Yeah, he's the best, man. His
I mean-
work is beautiful.
I'd be looking like a superhero. But no, please continue. So P.E.A.C.E. So I didn't even know that P got he knowledge 120. I didn't even know he knowledge 120. You know, so that's peace. Okay. This is your first time here, so I always like to ask, what would you like to know? You may have seen it online, you may have seen what I shared, everything like that. Anything that you want to ask me about, anything specific about anything?
Have you ever heard of the Hyksos tribe?
The Hyksos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, you know, like, are you aware of like who they are exactly?
I don't remember where I read about the Hyksos tribe though. It's was it annoying because I have the book cover in my head, but not any of the words of the title. Lillard, I think it's Asa Lillard wrote something, but I'm pretty sure Cernima has some stuff about the Hyksos as well, though. What context did you learn about the Hyksos?
I was reading from Babylon to Timbuktu,
Okay.
and then it was talking about the Hyksos, and it was saying how when they came to Egypt, they put the Egyptians through like a humiliation period because they was like foreign invaders. Because Hyksos means like foreign conquerors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they came, they conquered the land, and then once the Egyptians freed themselves, that's when they started really enslaving the Jews. You know what I'm saying? So I was just trying to see if there was a correlation between that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That history, I'm trying to think of. I haven't read. I know about that book, and I think I have it, but I haven't read it though. You know what I'm saying? That I forgot the discrepancies I read about that book, so I left it on the side. I never read it. You know what I mean? But I'll figure that out though, so I can get back to you with that. You know what I mean? But it's very interesting though how we study ancient Kemet, and then the Kemet after it starts to get invaded. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because the invasion is twofold though. A lot of these invasions and confusion though aren't just because there's a devil. A lot of these is their own issues as well. You know what I mean? Of how they deal with things, how they would make decisions. And sometimes in the lessons, when you see the lessons, you're on the what you said you were on, you were on the 1 to 14?
Yeah, 10 degrees at 10.
Did you read all the degrees? You read them all though, right? Like when you got the 1 to 14, you read the whole thing though.
Oh yeah, I had the whole degree.
Okay. You have the whole set. Okay. No, because some guys they would only get like a degree at a time. You got to finish the 10th before we even give you the 11th and stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's not. Yeah. When it's very, very important that in the 1 to 14, and I'm relating this to the 1 to 14, okay, and what you're dealing with, because this is why it's probably signaling in your head why it's important history. In the 1 to 14, though, there's a lot of decisions being made about how to deal with the devils that invade. The 9th and 10th degree, though, are two varying decisions that you actually would have great difficulty, a society would have great difficulty doing at the same time. Okay? Right? So you're on the 10th degree, right?
Yeah.
Very different from the 9th degree, right?
I mean, it's shorter. I'll say that.
Right. But you see what's happening in the 9th degree, right? We put them under the sword. Right? We don't kill them though, right? We put them under the sword. Right? In the born degree.
Yeah.
Right?
And in the 10th degree, it talks about actually murdering.
10th degree, we're not putting anybody under the sword though. We're looking for them, we're finding them, and we're getting those snakes out. You know what I'm saying? Right? The snakes are the grafted type, though. We're getting rid of them, though. So in the 1 to 14, I always see them as a very military set. You know, that's the way I've always seen it. Everything to me is military. Everything in the 1 to 14. Even about MGT and GCC, because we're teaching the woman and the children how to deal at home and abroad. You see? What that means, though, is that when we're at home and also when we're outside. Outside is everywhere. Outside is enemy lines. It's past enemy lines. You know what I'm saying? So all of this, word is bond. Knowledge. Word is bond. Right? Most important thing, though, in any kind of military, word better be bond.
Right.
How could we fight together? How could we go to war together? You know what I'm saying? If your word is not bond.
I can't trust you.
Right? Because your word first goes into this thing here, this thing that we're doing. Right? This society, right? Men, women, and children, right? For one common cause. That's military shit. That's society, a group of men for one common cause. Right? These are also how armies move. So there's a great correlation between the idea of family and army as the reality of the oppressed. See? And a lot of the mandates in the 1 to 14 are very similar to that. So you take a look at that when you look at these degrees. You know what I'm saying? Look at the degrees, though. When you fight wars, though, right? You can't take every piece of the battlefield. And they got degrees talking about the best part. We didn't care about the poor part, right? Right? You got the 3rd degree talking about the best part, right? So all of these things are all military mentalities. You know, I've always looked at it that way for many years and stuff like that. So when you go into these degrees and you look at the Hyksos and stuff like that, right? You look at these warring tribes and stuff like that, right? The invasion of Kemet was because Kemet was the flowering petal. You know what I'm saying? So there are two ways, though. Especially this is the way they describe it. A lot of Sertimus writings, a lot of I think Diop's writings as well, but mainly Sertimus writings and many of the authors that wrote under Sertima. Because Ivan Van Sertima, his books were basically like the ultimate mixtapes of different scholars. So he collected scholars and had their themes. You know what I mean? Ivan Van Sertima, one of the great scholars. You know what I mean? It's a shame that these books are so difficult to get. You know what I mean? African presence in early Asia, African presence in early America, all these books. You know what I'm saying?
Came before Columbus.
Right? They came before Columbus, man. They're not just important though for what they're showing you, the history, but also for the methodology, the way to look at things when you study. You know, that means that when you're studying stuff, including 120, you should not just be figuring out what it means, but you should also be coming with your own questions. Okay? It's important that you derive questions out of the degree of your own. As in, what else do I study? What does this really mean? I would like some more detail on this word here. You know what I'm saying? You go through 120 and you don't go, listen, I need more detail in this word. Or I need to know what the context is here. Always remembering, too, that what's the first place we go for context in the 120? Right? Who's the one person that we go to get more context in 120? It's Elijah Muhammad. Because this is his answers. So if you want to have a mastery of his context, like for example, his grammar is terrible. You know what I'm saying? The other degrees go on for 5 paragraphs and shit.
You have like a third grade education.
Right. So he's saying these high level things, but he's saying them real simple, right? Sometimes the verbs and everything, they off and shit, you know what I mean? Sentences is run on, commas ain't where they're supposed to be, right? So you got to read the Elijah books. They should always be on the side where you go back to them. Elijah books are very repetitive. They're annotated speeches put into collections. You know what I mean? So if you get bored with them and you feel yourself drifting, then set them out. I'm going to read this chapter here. That's going to be the chapter, you know? And it's okay with this, though, to do it even this way, where you say, listen, I read a chapter a week of this book. Then you get through Message, then you go through Fall of America, you get through Savior Has Arrived, the juggernauts, you know what I'm saying? You do those. They can get very repetitive. You read like a chapter or 10 pages a day, you know what I'm saying? You attack books like that, you know? I was even telling my youngest daughter, right? I was telling her, listen, there's a lot of books I don't like to read either, you know? And there's a lot of books that I think will help me, but, man, they're boring as hell. You know, so I'll read 10 pages a week. You know what I'm saying? 10 pages a week, though. And I could read it, though, and I don't get shit. Shit would be hard, but I'm I got to get through it, you know? Because I know if I give it the run through, then the next time I'll be able to get to it. Or the next book on that same subject, I might have a better mastery of it because I went through this book. You know what I mean? So it's about compiling like that. With the 120 lessons, as you're memorizing them, try to add a little bit of Elijah into your reading. Okay? A little bit is his book, so you get used to his way of speaking.
I always loved Elijah.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. And the more books you read, the more you realize that nobody wrote or said anything like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I love Elijah.
I read a lot of books, man. Nobody's talking like that. Nobody's saying stuff like that. So it's important also to look at it like a new way of speaking. He had his own distinct dialect, just like we do, because we use the 120 the way we do. We have our own distinct dialect, you know? So that's something to do too. But I still can't. I don't know if, but I have your email because you emailed me. I'm gonna find you some research about Hyksos that I found to be useful. You know what I mean? But in my research, my tendency in research has always been before the invasions of Kemet and the destruction of Kemet. Because remember this, right? This is what I was saying. Kemet was Colonialism is an interesting word, and in scholarship, though, colonialism means something different when it comes to ancient Kemet than it does, let's say, with Puerto Rico and the U.S. With Puerto Rico, it's complete blood sucking. You know what I'm saying? Complete devilishment. As we mark 125 years, right? 125 years ago, they took it over, right? A lot of scholars, though, like what's his name? He wrote The Star of Deep Beginnings. Charles Finch, right? He was a mentor Diop, right? He wrote The Star of Deep Beginnings. That's a good book if you find it, though. You know what I mean? He spoke about this as well, if I remember, in that book. He talked about how Egypt was really like a colony of Nubia. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at Africa, think of it like the root and the flower was Egypt. So that was considered like a colony. Everything that they put forth to the world was coming out of there, just like the Egyptian mystery school system. That system is not just. Are you familiar with that?
I've heard of it before, but I don't really know what it is.
All right, let me give a rundown, because what's important too is that when we start to research ancient times, so that we do it with the right books in the right order. So I'm gonna email you my 50 book beginner list, and the majority of those books I can get to you digitally. Okay, you know what I'm saying? With me, you're gonna have yourself a digital library. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Get that as well.
Say again?
Can I get that as well?
Yeah. Just email me, so remind me. You know.
I'll
And,
email you.
But the book that I'm talking about now is Stolen Legacy, George James, right? He focused on philosophy, saying that Greek philosophy is stolen Egyptian philosophy. But really, it means everything. The whole society. You know what I'm saying? And the Egyptian mystery school system was basically a system to try to teach what Egypt knew to the entire world. Okay? So it's trying to build like a new intranet, collect original peoples all over the globe that have been separated. How do we know that they were separated? Because people develop different phenotypes, staying in places so long for thousands. We're not talking about like a generation, like oh, that's my man, and he left and he lived this last 50 years there. We're not talking about that. We're talking about generations staying on place. And these are how the migrations of the original man developed these phenotypes that are useful and beneficial in those specific areas. You know what I'm saying? The only phenotype that people have difficulty making sense out of and usefulness out of is the grafted one. And that's why they try to make things like, oh, well, they don't need to have good sensory ability, so they don't have to feel the cold, shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Right?
I've noticed that in the wintertime, they'll have on a coat at the top and shorts and slippers. It's 10 degrees outside.
That should make no sense.
So you've seen this.
Of course, all the
A
time.
lot of like when I would go to school, I'll be like, yo, like you don't get cold. Like, nah, man. It be snowing outside with a t-shirt and
10
shorts.
degrees. They got on a coat, but shorts and slippers.
Some short shorts too.
10 degrees outside. I said, this is not regular.
Chilling.
Something's not right here. I hate cold weather.
Okay, have it, Fat.
I hate cold weather, brother. Not a little kid no more. Like snow, playing in the snow now. Mess
Oh yeah, that makes
I hate it.
So you get a little
Let me tell you something. The only thing I like about the cold weather is wearing different polo.
different jackets and stuff.
You're like the attire.
But
right?
then I'll be outside with the new goose, and then 15 minutes later, like, all right, we showed the goose out. It's time to go
Time
back.
to go home, right. Yo, exactly.
That's how I be at older man.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. Man.
Man.
I ain't a fan of those.
I'm not a fan of it at all.
That's why I'm enjoying all this weather right now. We got it.
Yeah,
I'm not
got to.
complaining at all.
Got to.
This is our habitat. This is us. Sunshine.
No matter how hot it gets.
Sunshine.
Enjoy that shit.
Well, to a degree, because when you start getting one, like now I was supposed to get this week, like one, this was go for like 10, almost 110.
I'll take that over any winter.
I'll take
Almost any winter.
Yo, peace to everybody in here. If anybody has any questions, Indigo, Malik, peace to God, peace to God King, peace to the earth, wisdom infinite, harmony, equality, peace. Who else is in here? Oh, Clemente, peace. Okay. Olu, peace. Peace to the God. King, you said today's math is wisdom, God on being born to born. My actions as God can born and influence for another to do the knowledge on what they need or want to change about themselves through their true culture, which is I, God. You notice that King, he builds a lot about what he's going to do as far as teaching,
Okay.
how he's going to share this. You see how his daily builds, it's about what he's going to do with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you develop your focus and stuff, your builds change to what you intend to, you know? But going back to the Egyptian mystery school system, I'm going to continue with this. The Egyptian mystery school system was teaching everybody, and the only context that we have usually is people talking about we're the original people, blacks, we taught white people everything, they learned everything from us, and game, and that's all they wrote about. And scholarship got stuck on just that. So they never connected the pieces. Well, what about the other original people? How did they link up? Did they ever link up? Did they ever communicate again? Did they ever reconnect? None of that. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just saying that I find that to be a big hole in our scholarship today. You know what I'm saying? We just care about showing that we're before white people. You know, and I'm like, that's an easy,
That's the easiest part.
easy already. Like we need to get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And these aren't where we need to be. We need to see how we got disconnected and what we built while we were disconnected. You know what I'm saying? Because that was what the point of the Egyptian mystery school system was. They didn't build that and say, we're going to teach you grafted man. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to teach all of humanity, and they hoped they could change and unite through that reality. It didn't quite work out that way, though. You know what I'm saying? Because what? When people have the knowledge, right? We said 85, 5 and the 10, right? 85 don't know, but the rest, the 15% that do have the choice. You see? You got the knowledge yourself-wise, so you got the choice to use this knowledge and share it with the people as best as you can in any situation that could be useful, that you know, right? You're not gonna try to build and you don't really know, like, you know what I'm saying? What you really know and you think they could use it, that's when you go in. But then other people, they keep it for themselves, or they're like, yo, oh, man, I got ahead because I knew about this, you know? Like they'll use the principle, oh, he's wisdom, knowledge, and I know I can get him now.
But aren't you supposed to share?
See what I'm saying?
You're supposed to share.
We would like that to be the case, though. But sincerity is what a teacher's built on. You know, to me, no teacher's built based on being forced. Though, you know,
I said, if a civilized man doesn't perform his duty,
what society has succeeded with people that have been forced to teach the truth? There's been none. You know what I'm saying? Even with religion, though, you know, you have to proselytize. You know, you have to go out there and be an evangelist and shit. You know what I mean? And you get benefit out of that. You know. So even if you have positive things to teach as a let's say as some type of, you know, religious zealot, you're doing it for a certain benefit for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the benefit could be as cryptic as like, yo, I need everybody to be like me. You know what I'm saying? That's blood sucking too. And that's within the reach of all of us here. That's in the reach of anyone that has the knowledge. Because you start teaching because you want everybody to be like you. Not trying to look for those that are unlike you. You see what I'm saying? This world sucks, though. I'm all alone here, though. I need to make everybody act like me and shit like that. You know? So if he does some things like me, then I'm gonna take him under my wing. He could do everything like me. You see what I'm saying?
come on.
Right. You can see how this could be a problem, though. You know what I'm saying? We have everybody. I'm gonna go teach everybody, God, and have everybody talking like me and everything. You know what I mean? They'll recite my plus lessons the way I say them, everything. You know, I have the whole dominion. That's never been right and exact with me. You know what I mean? That's why no one really knows, like, and I said, no one really knows how many people I taught. People could be around people I taught and they don't even know that they're around them. Because teaching them to have what I was taught to have, a self-styled wisdom. So they're hitting the world with their own unique reality. So you're not getting hit with somebody I taught. You're getting hit by somebody that developed who they were with me and other people and anything that was around them, though, and you get them. You don't get me. Because you don't need anybody else to get me. There's enough of me going around. You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing. And the Egyptian mystery school system, in that George James book, Soul and Legacy, short book. You know what I'm saying? And I'll have jewels about Musa as well. Because Musa isn't just the Moses that's in the Bible. That's not the Musa in the lesson. The Musa in the lesson means great civilizer. The teachers that go out to teach, and that develops from the system of the Egyptian mystery school system. We go out and teach the uncivilized, the savage. So that type of Musa that goes out to teach the devil in the Caucasus Mountains is part of that reality. You see? So the devil was being made, the devil's made, but there's also contrasting factors, contradictory factors, adding on in some kind of way and saying, listen, how can we kind of work this out? How can we maybe fix this situation? Is this really gonna work? You know what I'm saying? So all of these things, because I tell you this, and I like to disclose stuff like, since you're on 120, I don't teach 120. I don't teach anything. I really don't teach anything like it's a holy book, So anything in 120, I'm not teaching is like, there it said, so shall it be done. The devil was made and it must have been done and it had to be. So like people didn't let the devil continue because they said, he shall have his prophecy. His prophecy says 6,000 years and he shall have it though. You, Sandhill, you will not be allowed to destroy these devils. They must become what they will be. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it works though. Because if I had to stop you from being God and destroying the devil, which is what God does, right, then that means that I'm the devil and not them. That means I'm one of them. I'm the devil.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're trying to destroy the devil because of your God and you're making a more righteous world, you're being God. Fucking when you get in the way of that. You know what I'm saying? These prophecies manifested because the devil was a humanity, a type of humanity that was vastly scarred, dehumanized humanity.
You said the devil was humanity?
The devil is a type of humanity.
Right.
He's humanity. Don't get it twisted. He's not some beast, he's actually human. He is a dehumanized human. You see what I'm saying? He's someone that they took so much away that they became consistently and endlessly weakened.
Right.
We know about that. We're in this society though. We can't do shit unless we get paper. We can't do shit unless they're okay with it. There's so many things we can't do. You know what I'm saying? We talk about activism and shit like that. You gotta get them to sign off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We are constricted. We are put down on their level though. We are put on a level of survival. So we have been weakened as a people. You know what I'm saying? That's what causes devilishment. Because when a person is weakened, they will do anything to be strong. And they will take from others to be strong. You know?
It takes a state of mind though. Some
Right.
people go through so much shit and still stay steadfast.
Right.
The weakened minds, like they're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier for them to fall off.
And that's what we're finding out through this devil's civilization. Who's the true and living God? The true and living God that rises out of that though. His mindset is so powerful that he says, I will not be like that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
It's a choice.
I'm gonna suffer, but I'm not gonna be like that.
Exactly. Oh man.
Right? Because you gotta don't get it twisted though. Like, we say with the true and living God, it's not gonna be all roses and shit. There's sacrifices that you make. There's decisions that you make. You know what I mean?
It's so weird. I said this to somebody the other day. I said, you gotta walk your own way and suffer. You know what I'm saying? You have to separate yourself. And you're gonna suffer because you're not them.
Right.
Yo, I just said that,
Yeah.
yo.
All the entire system is to make everything more level playing field. It's like I've always taught this lesson. I'm gonna teach it to you now, right? If you want to understand the devil, though, it's more like the vitamin C rule. This is my vitamin C rule, right? And I always tell my kids, I gotta give you vitamin C sometimes in the water because you don't make it though, right? The human body doesn't make vitamin C. You know what I mean? right? But vitamin C is water soluble. That means that when it gets used up, you got to get more. You know what I'm saying? It's not like B complex vitamins. You know what I mean? Your niacins and things like that, where they're fat soluble, so they could stay in the whole day. You'll have like one B complex, and that's it. But the vitamin C in a hot day like today, it's an antioxidant. So the heat, once that heat hits you and everything like that, you used up all that shit. You need to replenish again, or else the oxidants are gonna burn. You're gonna start to glycate. You start to get older and shit. You know, people thinking like, yo, black don't crack, and then we see a whole bunch of crack black out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because people's nutrition is terrible. People's nutrition is terrible.
Did I say that I'm
you know what I mean? So,
to learn
right,
nutrition?
so the
Right,
skin gets destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So the vitamin C rule was like this, right? You need about 90 milligrams so you don't get scurvy. You know what I'm saying? You don't get hives. Your skin don't get destroyed. You know what I mean? That's why they call, by the way, fun fact, that's why they call sailors a lot of times limeys. You're a sailor, you're a limey, because the devil would be having these sailors, they'd be on their trips, they'd be in the boats for like, months and months, but they never would have enough vitamin C. So they didn't know this though. So they would get scurvy and diseases and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Once they started to carry lots of limes with them, and the sailors would have lots of limes on them, they weren't getting the scurvy anymore. So it became a thing to carry like a lot of citrus with them. That's what they needed. You know what I mean?
Lemon are a good source.
Right, of course.
Orange is too, right?
Yeah, right. All the citrus. You know what I mean? Right. But if you're really trying to load up and deal with this environment and everything like that, supplementation is always best. You know what I'm saying? Right? But to get the minimum amount, about 90 milligrams, you'll survive, right? But here's the thing though. Let's say we have 3 devils. We have a couple of devils, a couple of original people, right? And we have 90 milligrams for everybody though. But here's the problem though. Sam will take 90 milligrams, and he's the black man, he absorbs it, you take it, absorbs it, you take it, absorb it though. You got the devils here though, they take the 90 milligrams, right? You need 90, they give them 90. But they only absorb about 50. So now they need more though. Because they're not absorbing properly. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't made.
Right. So they figure, listen, but you got your 90 though, but you do real good though. So maybe you do good with less. There's a way I can get some from you though, and I'll do better though. Because I'm not gonna make it. Remember, vitamin C is, you need it. You're not gonna make it without it. So you're gonna have to have less though. You're gonna find a way to have less though. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you lighter than that. Now, brother though. You fuck with us devils here, right? Mess with us. You get more vitamin C out of those two. You know what I'm saying? And we all could last longer. It will be a bigger team. We could do something. You know? And you'd be the strongest. You'd be one of the strong leaders of this shit. That's what I said. The devil didn't make his population just by himself. He had to keep mixing. Had to keep mixing and betting. Mixing and betting. A lot of the societies at that time, including Kemet, were matriarchal. You know what I'm saying? You get in with the women, you're already in. So they can seduce, manipulate their way in it. And what Musa taught them was how to build homes for themselves, meaning how to engage yourself in society and say, listen, I'm gonna be useful to society. I'll be able to engage. That's what building homes. He didn't send down a whole bunch of carpenters. It's the mentality that they'll be able to add on. I'm a productive member of society. Let me in. I've got things to share.
Right.
And I can hold my own. See? But in reality, though, they need that extra vitamin C. They're going to get it from where they get it. From the original man. And they won't stop until they get it from the original man. You see? So that's the thing. When someone is made weak, they become wicked. They become weak enough, they will become wicked. You know what I'm saying? They will have to do things violently. You take any man into a position of survival of the lowest kind, he will do devilishment to continue to live, or he will willingly die. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, most people, as a populace, though, they'll continue to try to live. We see those choices though. When we look at the indigenous history and the genocide that happened here, a lot of the genocide that happened in indigenous populations is because they knew that they was going to being forced to the level of devilishment. So they was killing themselves. You know what I mean? That happened a lot in the Arawak populations in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. You know, they knew they was going to be enslaved. They knew they was going to have to do devilishment. So they killed themselves. You know. So people make their choices, but in general, populists though, they think now if you develop this blood sucking now, and say, but what if the society always feels like there's a possibility that they could reach excellence, but an excellence they never achieved. And now they're always going to be in it though. The excellence has nothing to do in this society. The excellence has nothing to do with what you achieve as far as building, working, right? Doing something great. It has to do with what you amass. They tell you everybody has a chance to be a millionaire. Everybody has a chance to be, because look at him, look at this guy, look at that guy. You know, he made it. The anomaly is now the standard bearer. You know what I'm saying? The anomaly is the standard bearer.
They try to tell you put yourself out by your own
Right.
bootstraps. Wow, they gave them
Right.
3 mile.
That's a real thing, yeah. Bootstrap theory.
They call that the law of attraction.
Yeah, bootstrap theory.
They gave them 20 mile a head start.
Mhm. I always say that. One of the guys was saying that too. Bootstraps, right? The name of the program when they colonized Puerto Rico, right? It was called Operation Bootstrap.
Wow.
So it was called Operation. They industrialized Puerto Rico, and in industrializing Puerto Rico, they traded hundreds of jobs, thousands of jobs for only hundreds, because they didn't need all that, and they destroyed the island, right? But the mentality that they were telling the people was, look, you'll be able to pull yourself by your bootstraps if you get it right. Operation Bootstrap. You know, they're teaching us how to pull ourselves up. You know, can't be more disrespectful. You know what I mean? Can't be more disrespectful. You know. I see Michael Jordan. There's a Michael Jordan here. The GOAT is in here.
Go come get me out.
Shit. Malik, you said wisdom, right discernment, the way knowledge is conveyed, articulated thought, God, infinite potential in a finite realm body. Realize nothing external is in charge of a controlled self. That's peace, God. And yes, the Rakim book is a very good read. I see some new people. Prince Divine. All right. Aaron Vernon, peace. All right. Okay. But yeah, I've always been using that vitamin C example for a long time. You know what I mean? It's important to see that and see how some systems are perfect.
Right.
Capitalism is a perfect system for the devil. You see, because he never can use things as well enough as we do. So the best idea is to hoard it. Keep it. Capitalism is about collecting capital. It's not about money.
Right.
You know, what allows him to collect more capital is the added aspect of valuing things. If you put a value on things, though, now you can collect them and keep them longer. You know what I'm saying? And that becomes more. And all this is still in play. You know what I'm saying? We're still, you know, while we deal with these highest forms of mental slavery, the world is still going through slavery. You know what I'm saying? Right? We all have our phones. We have our digital devices and stuff. Right? And they're raping the Congo for all the cobalt and everything that gets used for these phones. You know what I mean? Cobalt, right? Cobalt, right? That's the main mineral, right? Yeah, it's the main mineral that goes into these batteries. Without them, these things don't work the way they do. You know what I'm saying? They have children though with little hand shovels digging this. Mind you, cobalt is toxic to the touch.
And this is
Toxic.
what they make the phones with.
And they have, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's like warnings and stuff not to put it on your actual physical body.
Right, right.
That's
That has to
very-
do with the radiation of the electromagnetic pulses that come out of the phone. And stuff.
Right, it's supposed to be in your pocket.
Right, right.
You
So-
have to have it to your ear.
Right. So as best you can, and speakerphone, shit
Right.
like that, like
Or headphones.
headphones, right? Exactly.
still like a waves going through your head, like some kind
Oh
of
yeah,
sound.
yeah. Even if you're not using a phone, because we're here in the city, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because look at this as well. You see how they make the phones now. You can't take the battery out. So
Yeah,
the
it's-
phone is always
It's
on.
never really dead, yeah.
It's always on, even when you turn it off.
Yeah.
If the
Some
people
sources-
who run it and
Signal
wanted to
over.
push that button, your phone won't come on.
Yeah, yeah. You know, there's why, like with all things, we have to do the best we can to, you know, be as healthy as possible, benefit as possible. And even a brother like you, right? You're knowledgeable. You're like, nah, I can eat this bullshit. You know what I mean? Like you go out there and
no.
eat some bullshit.
Oh no,
You know what I'm saying?
no,
I mean, eat these candy shit like
oh
that.
no.
But the mentality, this is the mentality, right?
Change your diet.
Even at the age that you're at, right? You're 19, right? It's not to say, listen, I want to make sure I'm okay. Like when I'm Sunez's age, though, I'm good and I could do things. Nah,
You gotta
Don't
start
worry.
now.
don't worry about doing things for that future. Understand that the future comes much faster than the 30 years down the line. Everything that you do now affects you in the next couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't know that. Like the way you eat and what you train, and the more heavy you train, you feel those effects of about 2 weeks from now. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that. So the things you do in your 20s that's coming up is going to show you how strong you'll be in your 30s.
Mm-hmm.
You see? The type of lifestyle that I teach here, how to have a vegan diet, living foods, training, all that kind of stuff, I've been doing it since I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? In my 20s, you know? Right? So all of this stuff was already ingrained. You know what I'm saying? Right?
You know, speaking about like vegan food, how do you feel about Impossible meat?
No.
Impossible what?
Yeah. Everything. Don't eat anything fake.
Are you talking about like stuff like Beyond
Yeah.
Meat and all that?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
Let me. There's a whole bunch of horrible ingredients. I'll give you one though.
and,
right?
and
They
Beyond
give
Meat.
you and all these. They're in all of them, right? You read it, it sounds great. Especially they work out. Like, yo, I worked out, I ate one of these burgers though. It's got like 25 grams of protein in one burger and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Body can't absorb all that. The form that they give it to you in there synthetically, you can't absorb it.
Right.
But they know that it'll pass through you and you'll feel like you absorbed it. You know why? Because the one ingredient that they put in all these things is methylcellulose. You know what methylcellulose is?
No.
It's laxative.
Damn.
And it has the word meth in it too.
That's okay.
Ow.
Methylcellulose is a laxative, though. When you look up laxative, that's often used in laxatives. The main ingredient. It's a laxative. So understand, like, you always got to be careful with veganism. Be careful for all the synthetic products. So the two things to stay away from, right, is fake meats. Because as an add-on, Bill Gates, right, the devilishment is not just his vaccine shit, right? And mind you, there are actual scholarly papers on how Bill Gates has destroyed Africa. You know what I mean? So it was a joke, though. It was cruel when people saw him bringing a vaccine to everybody here in America. They were like, oh, it's Bill Gates, though. He's a philanthropist and shit. You know, you got to be doing right. You know what I mean? They call it now, I think, Vandana Shiva, one of the great builders. She calls him a philanthrocapitalist. He's making money, blood-sucking people in the guise of goodwill. But Bill Gates has actually bought almost all of the
Farm.
United States farmland.
Farm, yeah. Because they
But
starting
he's
to-
also the one that's pushing the fake
I was
meats.
about to say that because they're starting to grow.
So you see how you get that?
they're making
The fake
processed
meats is a
food.
market that could be stopped by farmland. Nah, I bought up the farmland. Don't you understand what he's doing? This is the fucking wire. You know what I'm saying? He's Marlowe. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna deal on this block, but he's gonna get all the other blocks and he's gonna have a hold of all the other blocks.
Ain't that called
So
monopoly?
the block that he's killing it though, he's gonna kill it on his block. He's like, no, I'm only on this block though, but I own all the other blocks.
That's a monopoly.
Right. So be aware, be aware with the vegan diets. Be aware of what is synthetic. Stay away from the synthetic. You know what I'm saying? My youngest daughter though, she's 9, and she's been vegan her whole life though, and I've never given her fake meat. You know what I'm saying?
She never asked to eat a meat.
No. And my daughter's different though. She don't eat candy though.
Because you never gave it to her.
She don't like it. Don't taste good to her.
Because you never brought her up on it.
The palate never
candy
got
though.
used to it.
You give her.
It's weird you say that because I remember when my son was little and then after a while I didn't get to raise him no more. But I've noticed this. Whenever I would have burgers or whatever like that, and he didn't want it. He would never eat. I'm like,
They know. They know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These little babies.
Right.
Like
Here's another thing to take care of, right? Because if you work out and stuff like that, you get your protein powder. Make sure your protein powder doesn't have isolate in it. ISOLATE. Okay. That means that they took the protein and they extracted the protein out of whatever it was, usually soybean, with hexane gas. Okay. That's gonna bloat you. That's not gonna make you feel diesel. It's gonna make you feel bloated. You know what I'm saying?
It's called isolate.
Right. Anything. They'll be like this: soy protein isolate, pea protein isolate.
How do you spell it?
ISOLATE. So when you get your protein powders, don't get it in that form. Read the labels. Read the back of the label is what counts, though. You know what I'm saying? The front of the label, man, that's like, you know, that's as good as that's as good as a woman's face on IG. You know what I'm saying? You can't trust it. You know what I'm saying? The front is the filter. You know, the front of the label is the filter. The back is what shows you, you know, the whole body. You know what I'm saying? Always read your products from the back, not from the front. The ingredient list. Ingredients are listed by what is most in there to what is least in there. There are things out there you'll bug out when you see them. You'll buy a chocolate bar and then say sugar is the number 1 ingredient. It'll be the first one. That means that there's more sugar than chocolate in that bar. You know what I'm saying? I've seen chocolate bars, I've read them, and I said, listen, there's more sugar and milk than chocolate in this shit.
Okay, it says protein isolate is highly concentrated form of protein that contains all the essential amino acids your body needs. Protein isolate is often used by athletes and bodybuilders to help build muscle mass.
Right, man. You know, but be careful of that. You know, it's synthetically made. So you can get. I mess with protein powder, but never from the isolate. Also, too, if you're vegan, though, stay away from the soy.
Right.
If you have soy, you should only have it in the forms of organic tofu, organic tempeh.
Okay.
Tempeh being the number 1. Right?
No dairy either. No dairy anything.
Does tempeh have the same effects as soy does?
Tempeh is better because tempeh is fermented and it's mixed in with other grains. That's why it looks crazy like that. You know what I mean? And it's very healthy. You know, that's my main meal right there. Tempeh, protein source. It's one of my main protein
You know how to
sources.
cook very well? Know how to cook?
Nah. I don't. I spend time cooking usefully.
Okay.
So even I'll cook for my daughters, and I'll cook them stuff that is actually a meal. But for myself, though, it'll look like
gruel.
Yeah, I cook functionally. In fact, most of my diet is raw. You know what I'm saying? And they'll bug out. They'll be like, "Oh, what you do it like that?" Like,
nope, you're gonna be 70 years old. It's 40.
I'm training to load up, and there's so many. As far as what does Sunez enjoy? Like, I eat a lot of nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Walnuts.
Never any salt in them.
Right.
Never any salt.
Do you eat cashews? Because I heard cashews.
No, I fuck with cashews.
You fuck with cashews?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cashews, almonds, hazelnuts, seeds, sunflower seeds.
I like
sunflower seeds all day.
I like
but
sunflower seeds.
Not David. Not David. Sunflower, the hood sunflower seeds. You know what I mean? Those are those are so much salt. It's just crazy.
It's all salt.
Yes. Yeah. My brother used to never eat the seed. He would just suck the seed and just spit it out. I said,
Because it's so.
you're addicted. Like,
Oh,
you're not
his
even,
cholesterol is.
he's like, why even bother with the seed? I was like,
The best part is cracking.
like,
it
you're not
open.
even trying to go through the,
cracking it open.
you're not even trying to go through the ritual to make it look like we're eating things.
Right.
Like, like you're just like I'll just get you a salt block. You know what I mean? But this is how we was as kids. You know what I'm saying? He's not like that now. But so you have your protein powders. Make sure that it's not that.
You have one that you recommend?
As long you try to get them organic. Get an organic protein powder. There's a lot of good ones though. You know what I'm saying? It's really about the ingredients though. Vega's good.
Vegas.
Because they sell that VEGA, that's a good company.
Vega.
Sun Warrior, that's a good one. You know what I'm saying?
Vega,
I think it's Orgain.
Sun Warrior.
There's one that I can't remember what it's called. But you can get one that's cheap as long as you read the back. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's right. And find it. If you just to add on, because we're talking about protein powder. Don't do what the label says as far as how to take shit. You know what I'm saying? You take shit according to your body weight, not according to what they said is a certain size. I have I'm shorter and I have a lower body weight. I don't take the servings that they say. So when I take protein or any kind of meals, I take meals as they go, not just overloading. You know what I'm saying? But all of that is important though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna start getting this.
And I have a protocol with everything too. I can email you that too. And we'll go through it though. But I have a protocol, living foods protocol and everything like that. I have all that. Yeah.
I gotta email you. I need that.
Yeah. So I'll send you all that so we could discuss it and build on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Add
really
on with it.
I'm really getting deep into the nutrition.
Right.
I'm about to go back to school too, so and then one thing I wanted to do, God, was come here and get the proper knowledge because I've been listening to Elijah Muhammad for years and years and years, and I will always listen to Ali make speeches too. And one thing that he said is that it don't really make no sense to go to college if you don't got a knowledge of yourself first. You need to have a knowledge of yourself before you go into there. So I know I'm about to go back to school, and I just want to get everything correct.
That's peace. That's peace. The key with the diet, right, is the mentality. And this is especially, it would be harder to see, let's say, for you, wise, than other, because you're younger. You know what I'm saying? It's harder to feel like to eat something and feel like, oh, this is not going to go good. When you're younger, though, like, you're not feeling shit. You don't see the effects of shit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
The
I had the benefit at a very young age to feel everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's what got me. I didn't get rid of pork first. I got rid of dairy first. Because I was getting stomach aches. I was getting sick.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So then I started to realize that what I eat, though, affects the way I am. And because I had such a life of eating dairy so long, my body was all really destroyed for that. So my body's very sensitive. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. But
these is conversations I need to have.
Right. So the thing is, is to understand how the body feels when you have certain things. So like wise, right? Whatever you're eating, right? Doesn't matter what. If it's vegan, not whatever it is, right? Take note of what it is. So in other words, do the knowledge in two ways. There's two ways you do the knowledge. First, though, is to do the knowledge, though, to say, what do I, in this meal, we don't even deal with snacks yet, like shit like that. We deal with meals that you make. When you look at your meal, though, you look at where you get what would be the fiber in the meal? What would be, let's say, the chlorophyll from your meal? Right? What would be the protein in your meal? If you have carbs in your meal, is it complex or simple? Right? Obviously, you want them complex, right? If they're complex. Brown rice versus white rice, shit like that, right? So you want to identify your meal, like what's in the meal. What is it? You know what I'm saying? If you use condiments, though, you want to have control of the condiment, not just be feeling like people be using their condiments like a feeling, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this feeling needs this much. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put a little bit, adapt yourself. You know what I'm saying? Adapt yourself to less and less. Let's say use the right amount of salt. Use this. You can adapt yourself. You know, salt is something you can adjust your tongue to. So you can adjust yourself to find a meal to be very nicely salted with very little salt.
Right.
It's how you adjust. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
how you adjust your palate.
I noticed that with my salads,
Yeah.
with a certain type of dressing, and then I add my sunflower seeds. I don't even have to put no sea salt on.
Right.
It's already enough
Right.
seasoned as is.
Right. What helps too, like if you're trying to get off salt too, is just use more, squeeze some limes in it. Give it that salty vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Lime in my salad?
Yeah.
A good dressing with some lime. Like, you want
Right.
to do probably like you can mix it with like apple cider vinegar, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Lime on my salad? I gotta try that.
That's the move, yeah.
See these
Yeah.
young guys put the older
I
guys.
started doing that because, like, I was, my children, they're from Dominican mothers, so I was with Dominicans all the time. They fuck with limes all the time. So I was like, yo, you letting these limes go to waste. Let's use this shit to this. You know what I mean? And I started to use the limes, all these
So I
different
get like
things.
a little something, put some apple cider vinegar, get some limes, squeeze it.
Little olive oil in there.
Little olive
Boom.
oil. Okay, mix it up. That's my dressing.
Right.
I'm gonna try that.
So all these things, but the thing is, like, you're 19, you're not feeling anything. You have these things and shit, you don't feel what's
You
going
get
on,
older,
right?
You gonna feel it.
So start associating everything to what actually everything is. Then you start to feel shit. You start to look at your food. Did I fry it? Is this fried? Is this? How was this cooked?
Do you microwave your food? You don't microwave anything, right?
Not a lot.
Don't throw a microwave out. Throw your
Microwave is
out.
gonna destroy all
Throw
your.
your microwave out.
I mainly use the storage.
Don't even have a microwave in your house. Don't even have a microwave in your house.
The way you replace a microwave is you learn how to make. When you need a fast meal, you learn how to have raw foods for fast meals. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like this, right? If you need the microwave to make you a meal, then that means you're already moving too fast for that meal. You see what I'm saying? You're already moving too fast for that meal. You have to eat it too fast, though, or it's too damn old, and you ain't got the time to put it on the stove to just cook it. You're moving too fast. That means that meal is not going to get eaten good. You know what I'm saying? Right? And if you're saying, I just put it in the microwave because it's faster, then I can go, peace, God. I can watch this show and everything. Well, shit. They ain't no sports that is worth hustling for to watch. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? And everything is on an app, though. So everything is going to be played when you press play. You know what I'm saying? You ain't missing it. It ain't like when we was kids, like, you missed that show. Like, you ain't, right? You got to hustle. You missed that show. Right? It ain't like that no more.
Yeah,
you know?
they're going to play it.
Ain't nothing. And wherever you left off, it's going to show you where you left off. Like, ain't no.
At a time anymore.
Yeah.
Come on whenever you want
I'm
it.
telling you guys, these kids are spoiled, man. They don't even know the
So
joy.
you had to go
Catch
through.
that.
right? I'm just telling the kids, like, listen, we got Disney Plus for you, got all these things, and you watching these dumbbells on YouTube.
We had the specific time to be in the house to catch what the hell we wanted to see.
Shit, man.
We had to be there before it came on.
Right, like, yo,
Remember them days?
shit. We be looking through the TV guide and shit, like, yo,
Oh
maybe-
my God, he's
maybe-
a TV guy.
maybe the old Earth. You see, like, yo, there's a good cartoon at 5 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Be like, maybe the old Earth won't yell if I wake up at 5. You know what I mean?
Yo, you just fucked me up. You said TV guy.
TV
You know
guy?
TV guy.
TV guy, yo, we was doing research.
Yo.
He's doing research. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a TV guy.
Yeah.
And every day, every yo.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Shit, we had to watch. We used to get excited. The Saturday morning TV preview. Remember, they give you the preview. They give you the late night show that previews the new cartoons that they're gonna have.
Oh man.
We used to get hyped. You know what I mean?
Hype up. Do you remember the Saturday? Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying.
The Chinese show, the Kung Fu,
Kung
Channel
Fu
5.
shit. Yeah.
Man, Godzilla. the Godzilla's go on. Oh my God.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
All that.
crazy.
Now everything is just
But yeah,
like that, man.
at this young age, you are like what you're doing is you're plotting the excellence of your longevity.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Because everything is so right here.
So it's how strong you do it. So you don't just think like, 50 years down the line, I'll be great. No. The good things you have now, you will feel an immediate benefit. You just have to study what you're doing more and more. So if you have healthy foods, you're like, man, I don't see no difference and stuff. It's because you're not studying what those foods are really doing to you.
Because you're not feeling
so
young now. It's not effective.
Right? So you need to study all of the bad foods you have and embrace the ingredients of everything shitty you have. So it could be your test model. So you go in the store and you're like, you know what? I don't cheat. I'm not saying it. You go, listen, I'm gonna have these Doritos and shit. Which, by the way, to me are nuclear chips.
Listen,
nuclear.
Okay.
Those shits to me, they look like they glow. Them chips look like they glow.
It hurt my heart to let go of that shit. I love that shit so much. Man, I found out I had pork in it.
Right? They do. Damn. Doritos. They got all types of stuff in there. Listen,
it's changing.
And if the ingredients are more than 10 letters and shit for an ingredient, that's a chemical. That's not an ingredient. But here's the thing. There's all types of tricks, though. You can make synthetic ingredients out of 2 natural ingredients. See? And that ingredient will be called natural. So you gotta read the label. You gotta understand the label. You know what I mean? Trips to go through, right? Not just Whole Foods here, because Whole Foods is really a gourmet store.
Right.
And healthy foods are gourmet, so it gets mixed in, right? But you gotta go to a health food store, like a Westerly on Columbus Circle. You know, you got to go to a Health Nuts on 99th and Broadway, some shit like that, right? You got to go in there and start to read, why are these potato chips in here versus the others? Start with the snacks, because we know our snacks. You know what I'm saying? We know our snacks. And the shit, that's where I learned GMO. I was like, listen, I was going in there and said, you know, I'm gonna get some pretzels from here instead of the hood.
Right.
I'm gonna get them here. And I was with my first daughter's mother, and she would make fun of me for everything. When I started to do Kung Fu, I looked terrible. What she do? Sure. She go, you keep it up. You go, no. She made fun of me and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know?
And now look at you.
Now, if I had the speaker, though, I'd cue in the vapors, though. But no, not do that right now.
Listen,
do that right now.
That's what they're going to always do.
Right? But the thing is, though, is that I would go in there and I would be looking and I'm like, wait, this bag is selling itself as non-GMO. What the fuck is that? Because I ain't never bought a bag of chips that said GMO laced. We GMO laced. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, yo, that means that if they non this, that means that the other chips got some shit in it. I don't even know what it is. Now, back then, you didn't even have to label it. Like now, if you look, I'm very, like let's say cereals, especially cereals. All the major companies like Nabisco, General Mills, Post, all of them, Kellogg's. Look in there and the ingredients, but look past the ingredients, past everything, and the bottom says contains bioengineered product.
And Kellogg's used to
it'd be real tiny ass print. Tiny ass print says contains bioengineered product though.
And they swear by their souls that Cheerios is so good for you.
Cheerios contains bioengineered product though. GMO.
GMO.
Genetically modified organism.
Eating good.
You know what I mean?
Right? Most of the food is.
So the thing is, you want to look at the easiest way to do is look at like health food store. Start reading ingredients that you like, things that you like. Yo, you use ketchup? Go read the ketchup on the Heinz, and then read the ketchup in the store. You know what I'm saying? Why is it different? What makes it different? Yeah. And then you're also gonna find things like, yo, this shit ain't even in the health in the regular store. Why? What the hell is this?
Right.
You know what I mean? Listen, white people be drinking kombucha out their ass and everything. I've been drinking kombucha since '97. You know what I mean?
What is that?
Kombucha is a fermented tea with a little bit of fruit juice in it. You know what I mean? So it has its own like actual enzyme that they grow called a SCOBY. And that gets embedded to make the fermentation happen with black tea and then some kind of fruit juice, right? No sugar though. It's real. If you add sugar to a kombucha, it's bullshit. You made a soda. You know what I mean? It's not, you know what I mean? But a real kombucha. And these shits though, back in the day, like now you buy the good kombucha, like my company Synergy. You open them up, it's fine, right? You drink it. back then they used to leave pieces of SCOBY in there, so they were very live. They were even more live. Where if you open them and you shook them, boom, they would explode on you like it was Super Bowl win. Like, yeah, serious. Like, now you can't shake it at all. Even now, today, you can't shake a kombucha. Never shake a kombucha. If you shake a kombucha and it doesn't explode, it's not a kombucha. They denatured it somehow. You know what I mean? But these are the type of drinks I was drinking. I was like, yo, these are the healthy shits. These are the shits that Japanese and the Chinese are drinking and lasting forever. I was like, yo, let me try this shit. You know? And I developed a taste for it. You know what I'm saying? All of these things. Like, you'll find new things that you never heard before. Like, yo, you go into other communities, they ain't even health food stores. Like, just looking for stuff. We have brown rice, right? But I never had black rice, red rice until I went up there and started getting it from Chinatown. You know what I'm saying? I never had no red rice before. You know?
Is there health benefits to that?
Absolutely. The differences in the rice, the colors of the rice are the quality of the water that it's in. Remember, rice is grown in water, right? So the quality of the area of the water and the place that it's at changes the way the rice is made.
Yeah, because white rice is actually colored that way, right? It's
No,
bleached.
white rice is bleached,
It's
so,
bleached.
so it's extracted. Like they take that denaturing germ, making it.
Is it like grass?
Yeah. So what you, in many ways, yeah, because they're bleaching it. So you definitely want to cut out white things. You know what I'm saying?
White bread.
Yeah. So if you're gonna be racist, though, that's where you start. Don't worry about the white man. Worry about white flour, white rice, shit like that. People worry about the white man, but they eat white rice and white flour. You know what I mean? Don't worry about that flour first,
So that would include like cutting out like white potatoes, for example.
No, white potatoes is totally different.
That's different.
Yeah.
Supposedly, aren't there no health benefits to a potato, basically?
There are though, but potatoes are
Not too
not all
much.
the same though. There's red potatoes, different potatoes. You know what I mean?
Potatoes.
So you want to, so they have different levels and stuff. But that's something that is a carb. So you want to put it the right way, the right amount in your meal. You know what I'm saying? The right amount in your meal. So it's still useful, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing I will say, like, because I used to be vegan at one point, but like honestly, like I got too skinny. I'm like
Right. No, I understand. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. So you got to learn how to do it and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
What I say is this, right? I don't try to get anybody into a type of diet, but I want you to know this diet so you could use it to detox yourself, make yourself stronger when you need to. You know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna eat meat of any kind, you better know about the mystery that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You got to know about the mystery that you're dealing with, though. What it's been fed, where it's from, all that kind of stuff.
How long it's been dead?
Right? How long it's been dead? You know what I'm saying? Because they're allowed to pump. They're allowed to pump blood and color meat, especially beef. You know what I mean?
Have you ever heard that they use chicken flavor to give chicken flavor?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? One of the reasons I became vegan is because I was eliminating meat slowly, and I didn't feel any benefit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't feeling any kind of benefit. So I said, you know what? I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to get rid of all this shit. I didn't even know the name for it. So I became vegan. I didn't know there was a name for this shit.
You ever get a craving?
Nah, never. You know what I mean? And now I don't even know the taste of that shit. So I became fully vegan in 1996. So I was 20.
I've been off and on vegetarian since 2015, and like I would get cravings here and there, but whenever I went back, it's never worth it. It's like it's off after you fast for a while from it. Is that you could notice is more obvious to notice the difference.
Right. Now your stomach is more sensitive because the bacteria in the stomach is now on a whole other level. Like we're like, yo, give me this.
If you're gonna do things that's more vegan, you gotta know the whole world of the possible foods you can eat. And then you're not replacing meat though. You're replacing what? Proteins. You know what I'm saying? Complex carbs. You're replacing things that you need. So you got to find all these new things that you need. That's what makes it easier. But right now it's the mentality though. How foods feel when they go in. What are those foods that you're eating? You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to. So you need to be more aware when you eat. That's the first step. Be very aware when you eat. How does it feel? You know what I'm saying? You cue on that D'Angelo song. How does it feel? You get all in tune with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this is obvious, but like itis is not a natural thing to have the itis.
No.
It's like your body is like
No. A lot of that happens because people overeat. They overeat. You know what I'm saying? And because like foods are filled with massive amounts of protein, especially meats and stuff, that's gonna give you the itis, you know, because it can't digest. Yeah, you gotta. Your body's shutting down because it needs to do work. Right? You got mad work to do now. You can't even use that shit. Like, you know, you slow. You know.
And I thinking about it, I see that now, and that's why Elijah said 1 meal a day.
That's what I've been on, trying to be on like little light snacks and like one main course. I think I live that here too.
I'm gonna shit you not, man. I've been living on smoothies. I haven't been eating no solid foods. I get my bananas, my apples, my cherries. Put them in my little bullet. That's I've been living off that. Huh?
I was saying I assume you because I'm currently on I like to do a water fast every month.
How long you do?
3-day water fast.
Okay.
So like whenever because my birthday is coming up in 2 weeks. I was born on the 11th.
Okay, that's peace.
So I like to whenever my birthday month is coming up, I like to detox. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a time for reflection. You feel me?
That's peace. I like that. I like that. That's real peace.
And then so now I'm trying to I did it last year, so I'm trying to do it again where it's 3 days water and then just 4 days just juice. You know what I'm saying? I come up with the fruits. You know what I'm saying? I really eat more into it.
You do what type of exercise you do, training and things like that?
Usually I do a lot of calisthenics.
Okay.
That's something I have to get back into though.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just asking. I'm not, you're in good shape. You know what I'm saying? I always see the 19-year-old thinking like, yeah, that's a kung fu we could do with you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's good. That's good. You know what I mean? One of the aspects of a diet too is figuring out what you intend to do with your body. You know what I'm saying? Especially the man, though, he has to decide what he expects his body to look like and what he's going to do with his body. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's why I asked, though. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever heard the difference between Himalayan salt and sea salt?
Yeah.
Yeah, Himalayan is the best.
Yeah, I got them both in my house. Himalayan is pink.
The pink salt, yeah.
Yeah, I got them both in my house.
Yeah.
Himalayan is what you need. Sea salt is healthy too, but not more healthy than Himalayans. Stay away from the iodine.
Yeah.
It's the highest quality salt that you can get out there. So if you do mess with the Himalayan, yeah. Malik, you ask me about that 32nd degree all the time, though. So you gotta tell me, what you need to do is articulate why it's such a problem. Like, what are you trying to do with it? Like, that's the first thing. Like with degree, it's hard. Like, what are you trying to do with the degree? You know, is it supposed to? Is every degree you looking at supposed to enlighten you? Like, like blow you away? You know what I'm saying? It's not the way it works all the time. Sometimes they just come across as information with you, and you just hold it. So it's also important to articulate into words what is it you get about the degree and what is it you don't. Because it's one of the opportunities. It's very rare you have the opportunity to put it to words what you don't know. So anytime you could do that, you do that. Okay? Anytime you do it, because it's going to introduce you to new things that you never thought you should know that you could know. That's 793. That's peace. I didn't know there was a simple Heinz with 5 ingredients. Yeah. Okay. That's good, G1. You threw away, yeah. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the air fryer. I've seen it. My family has an air fryer. I don't use it at all because they use it. So they be putting meat in there. So that shit is a meat box to me. So it ain't gonna be used by me. But I don't really fry anything, you know, or need to cook anything that way, you know. I do more. The only cooking I really do is for my kids, you know.
What's your thoughts on soy? Like the fake meat soy.
Never.
Ever.
In the beginning, a lot of people know like it was only until like the 2010s that you consistently could get a protein powder that wasn't made out of soy, that was vegan. Back then, like every protein powder you're looking for was soy, just soy protein, and they used to always bloat me. You know what I'm saying? And it would affect my training and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So like the soy, the processing of soy. You know, when you read about the processing of soy, it's a very denaturing process. It has a lot of chemicals go into turning a bean into soybean oil. Because remember, it's not like an olive where you could crush it and oil is there. That's not. You ever had a soybean? Like, you ever held a soybean? Crushed it? It should just splatter. Like it just gets. It's dries. It's dry as hell. Don't get gonna oil like leaking. You know what I'm saying? It's not like an olive.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So all these the way foods are made is what you want to learn because right they fool us more with stuff. So like let's say for example like kids nowadays, right? They got candies that they like and they're, oh, I used to eat those candies when I was a kid. Their version is worse than our version. So every version of even the kids' candy that they have now that we used to eat those worse now.
Yeah, I would believe that.
You know what I'm saying? When you read like, let's say you read the ingredients to Nerds and shit, things like that we had as kids, their ingredients now are totally much more heinous now.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff that you gotta look into. You gotta look into all this stuff. So soy, I stay away from all of it though. I very rarely, almost never drink soy milk. You know, and I don't really drink milks like other kinds of milks because they have sugar. So I don't really need that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and I save all the treats I'll have if I'm with my kids, the rare times that I'll see them. You know what I mean? And so my daughter's learning to be a pastry chef. So it's like, if she don't make it for me, I ain't, you know? Because if you want stuff that fits categories, right? I want something that I want a dessert that's vegan, that's this, that. They'll make it for you. Trader Joe's makes new ones every week. They got shit in there every week. So you could be unhealthy and check off all the boxes. Vegan, this, that, and be as unhealthy as hell. You know, this is something that wasn't the case when I was started, you know? When I started, they barely had ice cream that was vegan. You'd have Rice Dream was one of the first brands. You eat it, and that shit would separate in your mouth. Though. It was disgusting. You know what I mean?
Vegan ice cream?
Used to have a vegan ginger snap cookie. Almost broke my tooth. You know what I mean? Shit was hard as a brick. You know? They didn't have those shits. You know what I mean? But now, like, you know, now people take it as variety. Like, oh, I'm gonna go get some vegan dessert now. You know, like it's variety.
It's good for marketing.
Right, absolutely. So, you know, you gotta beware. You know?
Veganism is trying
Yeah.
to, like,
So the key is always to always be looking at the ingredients. So even products that are right and exact to you, every now and then read them again, because they'll change it again. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know, but learn to eat and try to see the connection. You know what I'm saying? See how foods feel when you eat them. You know, judge them. Even like all the students that come in the classroom, I always tell them to have a journal. You know what I'm saying? Have a journal. Not a journal that I'm going to read. I want to read what you read, but not that. Where you write about how you see the degrees, the things that you're reading. You write about them. But also, you know what I'm saying? You can use them as a workout journal. Like, you know, how was the training today? You can use them as a eating journal. Like, yo, these foods, I eat this now and it don't feel the same way. You know what I mean? And trust you, with the more knowledge you have of things, the more you feel the effects of what those things are doing. It all has to do with the knowledge. You have an expert knowledge of all the ingredients of what you're eating, it's gonna have an effect on how when you eat them. You know what I'm saying? Always. Absolutely every single time. You know? So that's the first word. Not let me eliminate this, that, the other, let me starve myself with this and that. No, you don't have to do that. You ain't a junkie. Like, do it slow. You ain't eating pork. So now take everything slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying? And you find a diet that gives you an extra strength. You know what I mean? Gives you a vitality, but not just because, you know, because you think it did, you know, because you feel healthy, but because you know for a fact that, yo, like when I eat stuff knowing that it's actually gonna do something really great. Not just like, yo, this is gonna sustain me. It's okay. We shouldn't be eating that. You know what I'm saying? I got children though. And the most adorable thing I eat is my kids though. They're really cute. You know what I'm saying? And I can't take them with me inside. But I gotta take that bullshit ass meal and walk around with that shit and let it do shit in here, right?
Fuck your whole day up.
You know what I mean? It's the only thing you put inside you that you hold it. You know what I mean? We're not doing that with nothing else. We're not doing that with knowledge. We get knowledge of stuff, now we're discerning. Nah, I don't know about that book. Read the whole thing. It's filled with bullshit, but it's about 10 out of the 200 pages got some things in it. Nah, I need more of a better ratio of usefulness in the book. You know what I mean? With being discerning and shit. You know? But not with the meals, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. Figure out what you want to do with your body. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of the decisions I make are very easy because I intend to do certain shit with them, with this body. You know what I mean? I intend to do certain shit. You know? So it's very easy. You know what I mean? Like a regular day, I'll train. I always train fasted. You know what I mean? So by the time I train, I probably fasted at least like 14 hours already. And so I train fasted. And that includes weightlifting and everything. After that, I have like a protein shake with chlorophyll and powders and everything. You know what I mean? But then still technically didn't eat anything. I just drank that. You know what I mean? And then because I train very early, then around maybe like 11, you know what I mean? Maybe 12, I have a meal. You know what I'm saying? That'll be, I keep it raw. So it's basically just a giant salad though. People come, like, my salad bowl is big. You know what I mean? And it got all the greens. It's got seeds in it. It's got everything. It's got the tempeh. It's got, you know, tomatoes, whatever I throw in. You know what I mean? Some olive oil, good seasoning, all that kind of shit, right? And then I'll have like snacks later, you know, nuts, seeds, fruit. And I mess a lot with dried fruit, but never dried fruit that's with with any chemicals. It's gotta be the dried fruit by itself. You know what I mean? Because they denature. I'll give you an example. How to see the difference when you're in the store, what it looks like when they denature by chemicals, right? If you ever buy dried apricots, like dried fruit, right? And they're not organic, right? That means that they added chemicals to it. They'll look like this T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Orange. And be like, yo, that's what an apricot looks like, right? That's with the chemical. They put chemicals to keep it with the same color. If you actually have a real dried apricot, it's actually going to be black. You know what I'm saying? But the people, that's not that appealing though, but they taste better too. You know what I mean? Right? So you got to be reading the label, everything. Everything. When you go to the store, Jizz's labels is the chorus. You know what I mean? Got to read the label. You know what I'm saying? Got to read the label. The more you read the labels, the more you're going to learn. You know, you learn what to research, you know? And you could start with the Impossible Burger. You know what I'm saying? Research those ingredients. And you'd be like,
what is that?
You know, I don't even know.
Impossible what? Like,
yeah,
impossible beyond what?
Yeah. And, yo, honestly, to me, that shit looked disgusting. Though.
Yeah, like, man, like plastic.
It's like grain
rubber,
shit.
Yeah.
And
It's a concoction.
Yeah.
Lab-made
It's
concoction.
crazy, you know? You are better. I'd rather have somebody eat, and I'd rather have him eat. I'd rather eat a beef burger than an Impossible Burger.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we don't even know the effects of all these chemicals going into the body like that.
At the moment, right? Like
Right. But if you
yeah,
had like
gonna be fucked up.
if you got this from a cow and it was organic and all that kind of shit, then I'd rather have that, even though I don't advocate that. You know? But be very careful of these synthetic meats, man. None of them are good anymore. Back in the days, right, we used to go to Chinatown and we used to go to Maywa. Maywa's still there, right? You get off a canal, Maywa's right there. And they're wholesaler retail, right? And they sell all the the fake meats, all the fake meats that you see at the Chinese restaurants when you get the vegan Chinese restaurants and shit, right? And we would get all that shit. And after a while, right, I would do it for my oldest daughter back in the day, 2000s, who was eating. And I stopped eating for a long time. I stopped it. And I went there recently, like maybe like 2-3 years ago, and I was around there, and I started to read the ingredients and shit. And I was like, yo, they put some new shit in here. And I started to read how they made it though, and it was grossing shit out. It was grossing me out. It had ingredients of chemical processes that were just ridiculous. You know what I mean?
You ever seen the video of I guess Chinese people like making like the fake lettuce? And she lady poured a chemical in the water and just like.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
I'm gonna try to find it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Lettuce is crazy.
Yeah, like let's see if I can find that real quick.
Yeah.
What's that? Iceberg lettuce? I heard iceberg lettuce.
It might be.
Unhealthy.
That's unhealthy because it's not green.
This is not green.
Make sure your lettuce is green.
That shit was crazy.
You get your romaine, green leaf,
Right.
red leaf.
Right. But whenever they got it, I just pick romaine every time. I pick romaine every time.
You can't trust nothing.
See, they say in the thing, it says this is how they make the fake lettuce for the display cases. So I guess that hopefully they're not feeding people that.
I wouldn't put it past anybody.
If they could make it edible, yeah. That's crazy.
I can imagine what they do. I know they're doing some fake shit.
She put it in the water and was like, just like mix it up until it became sour.
Came solid?
Yeah, it looks like lettuce, yeah.
They got fake rice.
Yeah,
they be
that's
making.
the first one I saw too.
They
Yeah,
make
plastic
rice.
rice.
Yeah, the plastic rice. Plastic rice.
That's crazy right there. That's crazy.
Plastic rice.
This shit looks like this shit look real.
Oh, they mixing sour balls?
Yeah, I like the benefits of the air fryer too, definitely.
Oh,
It's over here.
Oh,
Burger King some shit or some shit, and they know you're gonna use it.
hold on, that's a leaf they just made? Oh, hell no. punch it up, roll it up, nigga. Oh, nah.
Put it right in the bag. I wonder what they do for the taste. That shit can taste like rice. You should be able to tell.
Oh, I'm disgusted. Wow, I'm disgusted. Man, it's over.
Are you really surprised though?
No.
Like that surprised?
No, because I seen the fake rice. I seen how they make McDonald's. I seen how McDonald's don't get rotten. Did you see that?
Oh
video?
yeah, I saw the thing about like somebody found like a bag of McDonald's in the wall that's like 50 years old,
No, check it
and that shit was still intact.
I seen a video where they was doing an experiment. They took a Big Mac and some French fries and whatever and left it in a jar. No, listen, and no, this is what they did. They got a regular burger, regular food from the
Okay.
street.
True self, I see you said interorientation is the same as interpretation. No, that's incorrect. Interorientation does not mean that.
Nasty after a while. The regular burger
And the degree is not correct.
For
if it means if it means interpretation. Okay, they did not get an interpretation. Okay? Interpretation means does not. It implies that what was shared was not exactly what was meant. You know what I'm saying? Whatever was shared in the interorientation though was exactly what was meant. You know, it's not an interpretation. Okay. Because interpretation could have the equal pursuits though. You interpret something and you get the same interpretation. You know what I mean? It's not the same. Interpretation is different.
We should be eating that shit right now anyway.
No fast food. None of that shit. None of chicken spot shit.
All right.
Peace, bro.
What's your name?
Nate.
Nate?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Watch Supreme.
Good seeing you again. I'm gonna hit you up for the list and everything.
Oh, absolutely,
Try to
absolutely.
be more consistent.
No doubt,
From
brother.
now.
No doubt.
Good to see you.
All right.
Safe travels out.
Likewise.
Well,
Sound like that was thunder going on.
it's not word.
Shit. Might be. It was supposed to.
Well, you know what? It was so hot and humid today. It like
Yeah. So wise, email me so I'm reminded of the things. I want to give you that Stone Legacy. You know what I'm saying? Among other things, give you some materials. We talked about a lot of different things.
Oh yeah, word. Yeah. It's funny you had mentioned that book because I just ordered it from a bookstore recently. You know what I'm saying? So everything
That's a essential. You know, you need it in the library. You know, but to answer this real quick though, interpretation is not what's being done. Interorientation is what's being done. It's two people with different languages, and one person is orientating, is sharing an idea and influencing them on it. It is not an interpretation. Okay? It's not. That word wouldn't fit, and it's incorrect if it says that. The lesson is incorrect if it says that. Peace of God, infinite mind. I didn't even see infinite mind in there. The wisdom of God brings life into existence. That's what I was saying. I was saying this before I got on. I was saying the exact same thing. You know?
Oh, that's raining.
Yeah.
That's thunder.
All right, so I'm gonna let everybody go. I've been here about wisdom hours though. Time to let everybody go. Email me. Anything that you want, anything you heard you need, anything you want to build on, let me know.
Damn, it's pouring outside, bro.
Yeah. All right. Peace.
I'll take a look at that on face value.